Shalom, shalom, Israel. Start by giving all glory, honor, praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, MAKAKODASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone, the teaching of well, peace and salutation, spirit to the hopeful elect. I'm I'm coming at you from the prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. So this is going to be going into the headline. It says, hot news from hot news. It says, which is from an Instagram page, Mindset of the Aware. It says almost 3 million people signed a petition to stop the digital ID scheme in Britain, which will be mandatory. The government responded that they are ignoring all those who are concerned and will implement it anyway. And this comes soon after, Elon Musk put out that warning saying, you either fight or you die, to the Britons. Okay, to the British, Salat. All right, so they got something coming out called a Brit card, which is a digital ID. That's going to be mandatory for all the UK. All right, and they said about almost 3 million people signed a petition. All right, it says breaking, almost 3 million people signed a petition to stop the draconian digital ID scheme in Britain, which will be mandatory. All right, look at that word coming up, draconian. All right. The government just responded that they are ignoring all those who are concerned and will implement it anyway. So they ain't hearing you. All right. And why? Because it's a part of prophecy. Well, this is prophecy. Okay. So let's grab that definition of draconian, because the prophets have been speaking on this for a while now. It says origin of the draconian law, right? The legislature. Draco was an Athenian legislature who created the first written legal code in Athens, replacing an earlier system of oral law and blood feuds. All right, which Athenians got to go into Greece, the Grecians. His code was intended to establish a written, standardized legal system enforced by courts rather than by individual retribution. Severity. It says the laws were famously severe to the point that they were said to be written in blood. Key characteristics of Draco's code. Harsh penalties. It says many offenses, including minor crimes like petty theft or even idleness, carried a death penalty. Wow. Debt slavery. The code also permitted debt slavery, leading to increased wealth and power for aristocracy. So basically more power and more wealth and more control for the aristocrats. It says homicide distinction. While most laws were repealed, Draco's code was the first to distinguish between intentional and unintentional homicide. Although the specific penalties for intentional homicide were unclear in the surviving fragments. Okay, it says modern usage. Draconian. Meaning, the adjective draconian is derived from Draco's name and describes laws or actions that are excessively harsh, cruel, or severe. The Lord shall give them over to a cruel Lord. Okay, it says examples. A modern example of a draconian law could be a harsh prison sentence for a minor traffic violation, which many would consider an unjust and overly severe punishment, which is what this world is coming to, draconian laws and measures. Okay. This world is coming back to draconian laws and measures. So, like the guy said in UK, say you don't want your Brit card, right? He said it's mandatory. So if you don't get your mandatory Brit card, okay, which Brit is short for British or Britain. All right, your Brit card, which is your digital ID in the UK, you don't get that. Then there comes the draconian laws and measures. You say you ain't gonna be able to work. If you can't work, guess what? You can't feed your family. Many people are relating this or tying this into the mark of the beast, spoken of in Revelations chapter 13, which we'll grab now. In the book of Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, his image, those draconian laws and measures, Rome's ways revived, just the way of Rome. And Rome operated through draconian laws and measures as well. Okay. Soldiers in the city, troops in the city. All right, they operated off of capital punishments, which is public punishments, public beheadings, public death, public execution is what I'm looking for. They operated off of public executions. All right, which we had in time of Rome. They had publicly executed the Lord. Okay, and they're bringing this back again. All right, he said you had Obama order 50,000 guillotines when he ordered 50,000 smart guillotines when he was in office. What do you think that was for? All right, they didn't use it back then, but they certainly will be using it very soon. They didn't order it for no reason. They ordered it to use it. It says, end time headlines. This is the article I just got in. It says Trump to send 400 Texas National Guard troops to Illinois as anti-ICE protests continue to rage. So, hey, and even with that, I remember receiving a vision of, about a few months ago, of Trump sending the troops into the cities. I believe I did a lesson on it. Maybe I didn't title it, but Trump sent those troops into the cities, and they had nothing but Jake in the FEMA camps. All right, or wherever these camps were called, they had nothing but Jake in them. Jake was slaves in these camps. They was serving food. All right, it was like big shelters, and Jake was in there in the kitchen cooking the food and serving the food, and then the lines for people to get food was nothing but Jake. You know, so. Goes to show you what this devil's coming for and what he's about to really get into. All right, but the world was in peril. Everybody was lashing out, freaking out, and the world became more lawless. Okay. They weren't too focused on the people around. They were more so heavily focused on these internment camps, FEMA camps, people inside the camps, what to do with them, and you know, that's where it was very strict. You had to be careful. Other than that, it was almost like a free roam. But they were securing the cities and all that too. But I remember just roaming through from city to city, on the back roads, through the woods, all sorts of things like that, you know, to get by, to get around. It says, and he caught, verse 16, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Okay, so meaning everybody. He's going to cause everybody, whether you be in jail or you're free, you're in your house chilling, whether you be old, whether you be young, man or woman, whether you be handicapped or capable. Okay, he causing everybody to get this mark. It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, back then, a mark may have been, over 2,000 years ago, a mark may have been some kind of brand on you, or insignia on the skin, just like they brand cattle with hot iron. All right, but today with the technology they have, a mark is something that's going to be inside you. It's going to be inside the flesh. All right, and even back then, this mark, this mark translated in the Greek to incision, okay, to pierce. All right, to charagma, to pierce, okay, to cut. All right, so that means it's going inside of your flesh. It's going to be inside of you, man. It says, or in their foreheads. Okay, so he's going to brand you. This devil wants to brand you. He don't care how many petitions you sign. He don't care if the whole world signs a petition saying they don't want it. This is coming because it is prophecy. All right, which the world gonna be against it at first. All right, but once it comes out, they ain't gonna have no choice but to accept it. And so they feel, we gotta eat, we gotta drink, we gotta keep working so we can keep paying the bills. Everybody just get it. Man, I remember the C9 thing came out and it happened with the yabs. You had to get a yab. Everybody had to wear masks and 6 foot distance. People really believe these things. You know? These people are lost, man. It says that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you have people literally about to fight each other. These people was literally about to go toe to toe with other people who didn't get the yab because they didn't get the yab. But now you got these people apologizing on video. The anti-yappers won. The anti-vaxxers won. They played better at the game. They won the game. We lost. There's more sick in the yabbed than there is in the unyabbed. And these people are regretting their decision. They're starting to apologize to those that was telling them don't get it, you know, because they suffered harm from it. They were harmed. They got something called yab injured. Okay, which is really vax injured, but I just co-worded it. Yab injured. Or they injured these people that took the yab got injured from it. It says that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And no man ain't gonna be able to buy or sell unless you got that MOTB. Okay? The micro C-hip. Alright, which they calling it a digital card, but these people, the reason these people are petitioning against it because they know it's going to become something else. Alright? Now, digital ID, it's already infringing on their privacy and their rights, but a chip, technological chip, alright, they insert inside of your body is the most extreme form of invasion, okay, of privacy, invasion of rights, just crossing the boundaries set for mankind. And this devil's about to do it with these people. There ain't nothing these people gonna be able to do against it. Most of these people gonna fold just like they did for the app. They gave them their arm and let them put their poison inside of them. Why not do it again? They failed the pre-test. How much more the real test? You see? So there you have it. Like the guy in UK said, you ain't gonna be able to work unless you get the BRIC card. So does the scripture also say you ain't gonna be able to buy or sell? All right, which if you don't work, you ain't getting no money. You ain't getting no money, you ain't making no payments or selling anything. You ain't gonna have nothing to sell. All right, if you can't work, you can't pay your bills. You can't maintain your house. And that which you can't maintain is gonna be taken from you because it don't belong to you anyways. If you own a house, they can take the land. All right, it's their land. Yeah, this is my house, but it's our land. You gotta pay for the land. Shit, they ain't gonna let you get the land. Government property. Right? Let's go ahead and grab this. In the book of Proverbs. Nah. Let's grab it in Isaiah chapter 36 and verse 6. It says, Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, meaning if you trust in this rulership, all right, guess what? It says it will go into his hand and pierce it. So the MOTB, the chip was prophesied long ago. what's going into your hand and piercing you? That broken reed. That broken reed looks like what? Looks exactly how these chip injectors look. Looks like a tattoo gun. Okay? But you got over 6,000 people already in Switzerland with the chip. Which over there, you got a bunch of Edomites, man. Okay? Got a bunch of Edomites working in these companies getting this chip. It's going to get to a point where this thing becomes mandatory. All right? It ain't going to have to look exactly like the chip that you saw. Okay, the one that looks like a grain of rice. It ain't going to have to look exactly like that. They may have a more modernized version of that. Okay? Just don't be deceived. Anything they seeking to put inside of you, don't accept it. Okay? This devil's coming with all types of fireworks. It says, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. So if you trust in this devil, which is king of Egypt, right? Which is now Babylon. They say America is Egypt, Sodom and Egypt, you know, spiritually. Trust in this place. Guess what? He's going to lay you down and stick you with a chip. After that, it's straight on to, straight off to the nuclear fire, man. All right? So, that being said, I truly hope this quick lesson was edifying to you. Akim Nagwa. Listen in truth and sincerity. To next round, Sharala, give all glory, honor, praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Shalom.